Good afternoon. Welcome to Break the Yoke. Thank you for joining me. If you watch this, you're probably already familiar with my family and I and what we're doing. We'll make this another Q&A. So we've had a lot of questions and concerns about the appearance of the organization that we're going to be working with. Now, don't get me wrong, they do great things. It's obvious. But especially my family, coming from a Mennonite church, going to a war zone, the organization looks very militant. In a way it is, and it needs to be. So, if you were to look at them, you would think that they are a militia or some sort of a military. But there's a reason they do all of the things that they do. They've always said, we're not here to fight the Burmese army, we're not here to fight this person, we're not there to fight that person, we're here to help the people and free the oppressed. So you would look at them and you would see camouflage and boot camp style training. But you have to look at the larger picture. And the larger picture looks like this. You have a bunch of people, many of them, most of them ethnic, many of them come from a culture where they haven't had a chance to get any additional training or, in some cases, further their education much. But they want them to work together. So by sending them through a boot camp style training, it teaches them to work as teams, control their fears, overcome their fears, and continue doing what needs to be done to help the people. Because one of the main goals of the organization is, if the people can't run, you can't run. They don't want someone to go over there to help people, and as soon as something goes bad, have them take off and run away, leaving everyone else behind. That doesn't look good, and it's not what we feel called to do. So, they teach them through this training how to control their fears, utilize their courage, be strong physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. As far as the camouflage, they are working in war zones. Up until the last few years, it was primarily in a jungle area. Recently, it's also been in Syria and Iraq. So they wear camouflage so that they can blend into the jungle, the forest, and avoid detection. Because the Burmese military is going to kill them as well, capture them, torture them, whatever, if they get a hold of them. So they do everything they can to avoid being detected. They'll wear camouflage or use military surplus or earth tone clothing. And again, the blending in is one of the aspects. The other is military surplus is cheap and it is tough. It's rugged. Now, I have noticed that recently, as hiking and camping apparel has become cheaper yet more durable, that a lot of the workers, especially the foreign workers like us, have tended to switch over to that, and they just choose earth tones. They don't want anything that's bright or obnoxious. But that's a lot of the reason they use that stuff there. If you watch some of the videos from the organization, you'll see some of them carrying guns or rifles, some sort of weapon. And a lot of those folks, they're not all pacifists. They don't necessarily believe the same way, and that's to each their own. And a lot of them are soldiers that have been assigned to the organization to act as their security detail or their guards to guide them around the landmines and whatnot. So that's where that is. And I understand the concern. I understand how it may look, and but it is what it is. When you go into a war zone where they are actively hunting and killing helpless people, civilians, and they would gladly get their hands on you and do the same to you in order to keep the news from getting out, the reports from getting out. You have to be disciplined, and you have to do your best to not be detected, and that's where the training and the clothing comes in. So that was a brief Q&A or about that question and concern we get often. Again, we're not there to fight anyone. You're there to fight evil and help the oppressed, help the weak. So, and hopefully now I have downloaded a software to my phone that should allow me to edit my videos at least a little bit. So I'm hoping that in the next few days I can start doing that. So I think this video will be part of that attempt. But all right, well, have a good day. Thank you for watching, and shalom.